Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. If you want to make your presence known before you even enter the room, these 10 fragrances can do that for you. They're what we might call grotesquely overpowered. Yeah, you could say that. They've been hitting the gym, they've been taking their protein shakes, they've been doing the most important step, copious amounts of steroids. They are strong and they will get you noticed before you even cross the threshold of a room. They're like a silent bullet, just getting everyone's attention by assaulting their nose. In a good way. All of these fragrances are going to be linked in the description, so feel free to check them out there. And technically, there are 11 here because I wanted to give you guys an extra one. You know how it is though, 10 just looks better on a thing, you know. 10 fragrances, oh, that's nice. 11 fragrances, stupid. Let's kick things off with the fragrance that is Illuminati approved, 1 million Elixir from Paco Rabanne. And if it's Illuminati approved, you know it's gotta be strong because the Illuminati will not stand for a weak fragrance. See the triangle? It all makes sense now. Paco Rabanne is at the center of the New World Order. They built the pyramids years ago. There's actually an ancient government bunker underneath the pyramids. That's where the lizard people and the mole men live. It all makes sense now. So yeah, 1 million Elixir, it's a Paco Rabanne. Well, what do you want? You know, I could honestly fill this list up with all Paco Rabanne fragrances because they have a tendency to make things that are loud and bold and attention grabbing. And this is all three of those things. It's very sweet. You've got a lot of vanilla in here, but it is, like I just said, attention grabbing. It's going to get people to notice you. It's got a magnetic scent profile. It is a compliment puller. You've also got tonka in here, some rose, apple as well. And it's one of those fragrances that just grows on you more and more the more that you wear it. Now, if you do want to stay away from all those vanilla fragrances that have been coming out here recently, this one is not going to be for you because it does follow that trend. As I said, there's a lot of vanilla in here. But as far as fall and wintertime fragrances that are going to get you noticed very easily, this one has to be toward the top of that list. Let's go next with Boss Bottled Absolute. Newer release that I really have found myself drawn to. Has almost a touch of like a tobacco type sweetness to it, though it does not officially have tobacco as a note, and not everybody is going to pick up on that tobacco-esque kind of scent profile either. Officially, it has patchouli, myrrh, leather, and incense as some of the notes in the fragrance, but it does have a nice little bit of warmth and sweetness that cuts through the whole scent, and that's gonna be from the myrrh. It's really classy, sexy, kind of mature, so much younger guys may not wanna go for this one because even though it has a little bit of sweetness to it, it's not the same as like the sweetness you're gonna find in here. It's a bit more balsamic, ambery, resinous, the way that it comes across. Great performance for me. This stuff lasts, it projects, it gets you noticed. It's actually surprisingly strong because the atomizer, at least on my 50 ml bottle, kind of sucks, but it makes up for it in performance. So even though it's not spraying out a whole lot, what you do get out of there, and for me, I actually kind of like this one a little bit more than Elixir, and I love Boss Bottled Elixir, so that's saying something. Before we hop to the next fragrance, guys, here are some codes you can use to save money across different websites. There's a new code, which is for Beauty House. That code is GENTS, G-E-N-T-S. Very simple, easy to remember. And they get a lot of clone fragrances before other stores, so a lot of times they'll end up getting something first before anybody else does. So if you're into clone fragrances especially, you should check them out and see what all they have. Then of course there's the usual codes for like Frag Flex, the Perfume Box, Max Aroma, JOMASHOP, all those places as well. Let's jump to the next fragrance. It's another Elixir, Guilty Elixir. This one I don't talk about a whole heck of a lot, but it is great in terms of performance. The quality is really nice as well, and it doesn't smell like any of the other Gucci Guilties. In actuality, it smells a little bit closer to something like Reflection Man from Amouage. Now this one is quite pricey, as you would expect from an Elixir fragrance, because most of the time those Elixir branded flankers do end up being the most expensive in the line. And yeah, it is pricey, but the quality is very high. You've got white florals in here, you have vanilla, you have iris again. similar to Reflection Man and how it comes across. And while this has that similarity to Reflection Man, it also has a similarity to Pegasus from Parfums de Marly. So two very popular niche fragrances this has bits and pieces of each one of those. So you could kind of think of it like taking those two fragrances, putting it into a blender, boom, here it is, and it lasts an eternity, especially on clothing. You spray that on clothes, it's gonna be there for days, possibly weeks. It's that long. And this is another one, kind of like 1 Million Elixir there, that grows on you over time. I enjoyed this a good amount when it first came out, but as time has gone, I appreciated it more and more. The only thing to get past with this one is the price. So if the price doesn't bother you, everything else here is worthwhile. Let's talk Bad Boy. Bad Boy Extreme up next. And this one, I feel like it's overlooked a little bit. When it comes to the Bad Boy line, I think Cobalt is the one that most people gravitate toward. It makes sense why. And also the original Bad Boy, pretty popular. Extreme sometimes gets forgotten, but it's a banger of a fragrance as long as you like a little bit of chocolate with your fragrances. So this one has cacao and patchouli, and depending on how patchouli is used, it can have kind of a chocolatey feel to it, which this one does. There's also tonka in there. A little bit of incense, you have vetiver, also a touch of plum. Not as much as like Bad Boy Cobalt, but you have a little bit of that going on here too. So you have a lot of warm aspects, sweet aspects as well. It has like kind of an Invictus Victory Elixir meets Bad Boy vibe to it with more of a chocolatey overall feel. And it lasts a really long time and projects extremely well, which you would expect from a fragrance named Extreme. So if you want to keep it kind of in that original Bad Boy style, but you want better performance, I would go with this one. And as you would expect from a Bad Boy fragrance, it is made to be worn. It's made with versatility in mind, particularly in fall and winter. Next up, Dior Homme Parfum. Now I have to say, in the US, Dior Homme Parfum, kind of a pain to get. Yeah, it's not gonna be cheap. Most of the time, it's not available at discounters. When it is available at discounters, it's gonna be expensive. As of this video, you can find it for a couple places for about $170. So yeah, now, I guess technically it could be worse, but still, it's not cheap. So you have here Aeros, good amount of it. A little bit of fruitiness in there, but not a whole heck of a lot. You also have leather, rose, sandalwood, bit of oud also, so a nice woodiness there. Don't worry, it doesn't get animalic. It stays extremely classy, sophisticated, grown up, mature, but oof, the quality is just fantastic. Magnificent even. One of the best designer fragrances ever. But it is gonna be more of a specific situation fragrance. Not many people are gonna be wearing this one as a day-to-day type scent. You know, it's not really an office fragrance, or at least most people wouldn't consider it an office fragrance. I'm sure there's somebody out there who wears that every day and they're like, ah, it's a perfect daily scent. And this is one where the longevity is just huge, massive, just unholy in terms of the longevity. And the projection, big too. Like Dior Homme Intense is known for being a strong fragrance. It's known for lasting. This outperforms that. Up next, Scandal Le Parfum from JPG, Jean-Paul Gaultier. This is a fragrance that I have really enjoyed ever since it came out. It's one that the more I wore it, the more I got reactions, the more I realized this is just an absolute banger that sometimes doesn't get talked about in the same way as some of the other more popular fragrances out there, but I think this is just absolutely stunning. Just the right blend of like aromatics and sweetness. So it has everything covered during fall and winter time. Dates, absolutely. More formal occasions, yes. You can wear it casually. You can wear that on a night out. It does everything. It does everything really well. It lasts, it cuts through the cold. And I think just about any age range can wear this too. Younger guys can pull this off easily. Middle-aged guys, older guys, doesn't matter. Just absolutely killer. I love, 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 love Scandal Le Parfum. And if we're talking about kind of an under the radar in the US fragrance that has a big time performance and has that compliment factor, that's what this is. Let's talk Chopard up next. Black Incense Mal. Now this one's pretty good bang for your buck as far as the performance and the quality versus price is considered. It's like 60 bucks online. But I do need to tell you, this is not going to be as easy of a wear as this or this or this or this or this, or pretty much anything, okay? Now it's not that it's unbridled, unchained, unwearable. That's not the case. But it is gonna take a more particular person to pull this one off. There's leather, there's a smokiness, there's oud, there's like a resinous sweetness in here as well. It's not the same as Gucci Guilty Absolute, but it's not really far removed from how that one comes across. Now you do have like some slightly sweet spices in here, like I said, resins as well, and that can help take some of the edge off. But it does have a little bit of an animalic facet to it. The leather has a punch, a punchiness. Like I said, there's a smokiness that comes through here as well. Dead of winter, this could be absolutely killer, stunning even on a night out. But for somebody looking for just like a really sweet compliment bomb, that's not what this is. It's well blended, nothing sticks out like a sore thumb here. Like I said, the quality is amazing for the price point. It's just, this is gonna be one of those ones that, you know, if you can wear it, then you're gonna absolutely stand out. You're gonna smell amazing. But if it doesn't work for you, it's gonna be one of those ones that you like stick into the back of your collection and you're just like, never gonna wear that. Ultra Mal up next from Jean Paul Gaultier, so another JPG right here. And this one is much easier to wear. So don't have to worry about this quite so much. It's got a really nice pleasant sweetness off the top. Got some pear in there. I just sprayed my hand, so I'm wearing it now, I guess. You also have lavender in here. You've got mint, a little bit of cinnamon, vanilla also. So it's very sweet from the opening into the dry down, but extremely appealing. It's got like a youthful edge to it, you know, this playfulness to it that really helps it, you know, kind of capture attention, but you can wear it as an older guy also. It's not something that's like too sugary sweet, at least not in my opinion. Lasts an extremely long time, projects very well. Perfect night out fragrance, good date night fragrance, good casual scent as well. Maybe not as much something that I would wear to the office, but to be fair, most of these I wouldn't because they're pretty strong. That's the whole idea of the video, and most of the times with office fragrances, work fragrances, you do want something a little bit more subtle, a little bit classier. Not that some of these aren't classy, they are. It's just they're also very in your face. So yeah, Ultra Mal, great choice, honestly, for about year round. I know middle of summer during the day, you'd probably go for something else, but during the evening in the summer, it could work out really well, depending on where you are and what you're doing. It was a big hype beast when it first came out, still works extremely well today, and the performance is way up there for a scent of this type. Let's go Abbey Rouge Parfum up next from Guerlain. So potential issue with this one, it's not really an issue necessarily, but it's hard to find discounted a lot of the time. So retail, it's kind of pricey. It's like $175. Sometimes you can find it at discounters for maybe $120 or so, but it does have a tendency to sell out. So this is one of those ones that sometimes you can't find for the greatest of price. All right, no breakdown wise, really simple. It's basically vanilla, rum, patchouli, bergamot. That's pretty much it. Also has a leathery aspect to the fragrance that's very noticeable early on. Deep, it's rich, it's a little bit boozy, which is what those new Parfum fragrances from Guerlain were really based around. This one, L'Homme Ideal Parfum, and then Vetiver Parfum. You know, they added like a different boozy aspect to them essentially. This is gonna be a little bit more of a mature leaning fragrance. Younger guys not gonna gravitate toward this one quite so much. It does have more of a sophisticated maturity to it. It has an elegance to the fragrance, but at the same time, it's loud. It gets you noticed, it projects, it fills up a room, especially if you go heavy with it. So yeah, very boozy, classy, with a leathery, kind of spicy undertone that really kind of bubbles all throughout the fragrance. Killer fragrance, and honestly, all you have to do is look at that coloration and you know it's gonna last. Then we've got Aeros. This is Eau de Parfum, the Eau de Parfum version rather. The Eau de Toilette also has great performance. So you've got mint in here, you have apple, you've got citrus, you have vanilla, a little bit more grown up than the Eau de Toilette, slightly less of a you know, bubblegummy sweetness to it. It is still sweet. It is absolutely still sweet. Just not as much down that road as the Eau de Toilette is. Got a bit of woodiness in there, lays a nice masculine base for everything to play off of. Performance, fantastic. Lasts a long time, projects heavily, great night out fragrance, but extremely versatile. I think for me, year round, daytime, nighttime, doesn't matter. And I've worn Aeros to the office many times, and it worked great. To be fair, that was years ago, but still. Massive compliment puller, extremely popular. So if you're looking for a fragrance that's gonna be a little more under the radar, something that not as many people are wearing, you wanna go for something different, okay? But if you don't care about that, this is an awesome choice. We're gonna finish with this, Stronger With You Intensely. Stronger With You Intensely is absolutely one of the strongest in the Stronger With You line, though to be fair, a lot of those pack a punch. But this is absolutely one of the best performers of the bunch, which is saying something. And it's finally available at retail in the US, which is kind of a double-edged sword. It means, on the one hand, it's easier to find. So if it's sold out at discounters, it's not a big deal. If you really want it, you can find it. On the other hand, a lot more people in the US are gonna be wearing that now because they can finally go into a store, smell it, and buy it. And your average person, that's how they're gonna go about getting their fragrances. They're gonna go to their local department store or mall or whatever. They're gonna work through everything, smell different things, and be like, oh, I like this one. So that does mean, whereas before, it was mainly people into fragrances that were wearing this one in the US, nowadays, a whole lot more people are gonna be wearing it. That being said, it's worth wearing. It's very sweet, but done in a cozy but sexy way. And I know it's kind of funny to say cozy when we're talking about a fragrance that can potentially blow out the windows of a house if you wear too much of it, but it has that holiday kind of feel to it, you know, that kind of magnetic scent profile. It just puts you in a good frame of mind. It's got that going on, just ramped up to 11. It's got this great, sweet, warm, glazed chestnut note in there, which really helped set off the Stronger With You line. And it's one of the better choices that you can make during fall and winter time if you're looking for a strong fragrance that's gonna last all day or night, that will easily get you noticed in a positive way. So there we go, guys. There are 11. These fragrances right here, to be fair, almost all of them gravitate more toward fall and winter, but these fragrances here, they will get you noticed, they will fill up a room, and God forbid, if you go heavy with these and you're surrounded by a lot of people in like a high heat situation, I don't know why you do it, but if you do, people will know where the fragrance is coming from as they drop like flies. Probably give yourself a raging headache too. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.